Computer. All right, so November 11th, Thursday, 7 o'clock or 7:07. Veterans Day. Yep, and it's also my birthday, so it's kind of fun. We were talking with my mom, so this is an interesting story. My mom was born on 1/11. My mom's mom was born on 9/11. So as she went into the hospital to begin delivery, she started early on 11/10, and they had all the documents set up for 11/10, except my mom said, "No, I'm going to have an 11/11 baby." So she waited and she waited and she was able to make it to like 5 minutes after midnight. So that's when I came into the world, 11/11, 5 minutes after midnight. I think so. Thank you, Mom. She's on the call here, Pat.
I knew all those birthdays, but I had not put that together about the 11th.
Yeah. No, that was kind of her deal to do that. So, um, so tonight so I just wanted to share. So the last couple of weeks I've been gone. I went to the Radionics conference 2 weeks ago in Rapid City, South Dakota. And those folks have been working with frequencies on a different type of platform and machine than we have. And so learning a lot out there with Timmy and with Tammy and Tim, Timmy and Tam. Must be something in my glass of wine here. Hey, buddy, how are you? So we did that, and then last week I was down in Dallas at the Weston A. Price conference, and that was phenomenal to learn a lot about everything that's healthy food, healthy eating, what's going on in the whole pandemic. So a lot of good stuff there. But when I went out to the Radionics conference 2+ weeks ago, a friend of mine who's my Healy user invited me out there and said, "Why don't you come over to Hot Springs? It's only an hour away, and come on and meet some Healy users." So himself, Brett, and then Heather, who's joining us on the phone call, whose picture you can see on the bottom, and um, Heather joined us and spent some time at the Radionics gathering. But Heather is an intuitive of herself, and I welcomed her into our community. And she was doing some very interesting work with us on I Ching. So all of you have this app on your Blue app, but just to kind of see a nod of heads or a show of hands, how many people have actually used the real way to pronounce it is I Ching. So how many people have used I Ching? Marcia, have you used I Ching? No? Tammy, before Heather, had you used I Ching? Okay. Mom, have you used I Ching? No? Nope. How about you, Diane?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Julie, how about you?
No, I have not.
Wow. How about you, Hun?
I think I might once or twice, but I don't recall.
Okay. Okay. And Dorothy, how about you?
No, I haven't.
And Gail?
I tried it a couple times quite a while ago.
Quite a while ago? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about it tonight on there from Heather, who I just asked if she would show up here with us. So maybe what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, I will get a picture of us as a group. So I'm going to get that on my phone here, get a picture here on my iPad, get a picture, and let me get this. Where is the camera? So I'm going to get us as a group. Okay. Because we might as well be getting the frequencies while we're learning about it, right? Everybody agree with that? So, all right, now I got a picture. So if you haven't done this before, I just do it as a little reminder of how to add. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to share my screen, and then we're going to hear Heather's voice here in a second. So I'm just getting this queued up, Heather. So I'm going to share it with my iPad via cable share.
Let's see.
Okay, so there's my picture. I just took a picture of us in our little Zoom call. So now I'm going to go to the Blue app. And I am going to add a client. which is going to be today's. We're a group, right? So we're a group down here. So I'm going to add us as a group. I'm going to record a vibration. Well, actually, no, let's get the picture in there first. Take from the gallery. And there we go. So I'm going to use that picture from the gallery. There we are. And they require a name. So what is it? 11, 11, 21. Date is today. Place of foundation. Zoom. Okay. Now I'm gonna record a vibration of the group. Does anybody have any questions what I'm doing here on how to do a group while I'm doing it? Okay, good. So everybody knows how to do this. That's good.
Well, I'm writing it down.
Oh, okay. Who said that?
Julie.
Okay, Julie. Yeah, we can go. This is really good, Julie. So, like, if you want to do a broadcast for your family, or you had a group, you have a basket weaving group, a scuba group, or whatever you're at the VFW or some group, you can take a picture of the group, add them in here just like I'm doing. Just give it a name, date of foundation, put in a name, and now on the frequency, I was actually thinking of the group, but actually I want to go through. I really want to be more connected because I was talking. So I'm going to record a vibration because I want to basically be thinking of you all here and make sure my intention is there. Okay, so it got us. So there it is. So now I've got a recording of the group. And here we are. So then I'm going to say check. And now here's something interesting. If you're working with a client that you're just going to work with for a short period of time and then that's it, I'll select no, because then I don't have to bother saving it up to the cloud. It's just on my local device. And if I'm going to delete them, then it doesn't hog up the cloud. But it doesn't matter anyways. We've got more than enough storage in the cloud. But sometimes you're with somebody that is sensitive to their information being shared. So when I have somebody like this, I say, look, I'm just going to select no, and I'm going to put it right here on no. So now it says, okay, the client has been saved. It's saved on my local iPad. And now do I want to perform an analysis? Yes, I do. So I'm going to come back in here and we're going to select a resonance analysis. And the database that I'm going to select is I Ching, and that's down towards the bottom. See it down here? I Ching, and there's 64.
Okay. So this is only on the Blue Dot program.
Very good. Yes, only on the Blue Dot. Yep. Yep. So let me just go back for a second because that's good. That's a great question. So when you look at this list of programs here, this is only on the Blue Dot, the Gem
Right.
Elixirs. All
Okay.
Healy programs can also be on the Pink Dot. And I'll show you some, some require a subscription, but most don't. But all Healy programs also apply over on the pink. Australian bush flowers, only on the blue. Bach flower remedies, only on the blue. Creative homeopathy, only on the blue. Then we get down here, we've got the animal programs. That's a subscription-based program. So right now, you at least have it on the blue. But if you actually wanted to go and apply the microcurrents for your cat, dog, what have you, you'd need to get a subscription for those programs. Healy Beauty, that's going to be on your pink.
Right.
And most of these are going to be on your pink, assuming if you've got like a residence. But if you only have the Healy Gold, well, then you're only going to have the Healy Gold program down here. But then otherwise, when it says Healy, these basically mean that they'll be on your Pink Dot app as well, assuming you've got the right, you've got that level of Healy edition. So that's how that rolls. And now here we go down to the I Ching, Materia Medica. Now Materia Medica, I think, is no longer, if you're getting a Healy now, like after July, you're probably not seeing this. This was an older version of their homeopathy. So just because I was an early user, I've got that. But that's only on the Blue Dot. Schussler salts is only on there, and vital substances is only over on the blue. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to go through and we're going to select I Ching. And then Heather, I'm getting you queued up. So we're going to go here for the group rail here first. So as you know, I have my intention. I'm putting my finger on this little graphic. It's not a, it doesn't read your thumbprint. It just has a thumbprint or a fingerprint. So it just is there and it's just like an on off switch. So put it on. It's now scanning all of us as a group. And I know one thing that's kind of interesting. One of Kara's friends who she's shared a Healy with, she's actually running a little business because her daughters have some learning disabilities. So she'll broadcast the learning programs to her daughter. She actually set up a little business with other moms in her grade school with her daughter for like $9 a month. And she broadcasts the learning programs, and she's taken a group picture of all the kids that have signed up for that subscription. And her belief is because she's broadcasting it to a group, that she's felt that there's even been more energy for the group, what she was reporting to me when I talked to her about a month ago. And she said it was really quite amazing on what was happening. She goes, I'm doing it for my daughter, but I figured I might as well go do it for the others. Now, you don't have to do it if you want to do it for a charge, but it's an easy way to kind of make a, you know, a little business, and it's a subscription. And if you're running it for your beloved, you're adding it to the others, and it doesn't take away when you add more with frequency. So it's not like you got a teapot and you can only pour so many cups of tea. This, when you pour out frequencies, it's sort of like Jesus with the loaves of bread and the fish. You can feed a whole crowd, and it just keeps going. Okay, Heather, so maybe you might want to pipe in and kind of help us out with what we're looking at here on our scan for the group.
Okay, all right. Well, first of all, I have never done this in a group way ever. I've always worked one-on-one with people. So I don't, first of all, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't know how to interpret. Okay, so part of I Ching is asking the right question when you're doing an individual reading. And so everybody knows I am on ifate, ifate.com. And then I click on I Ching.
You want to type that in the chat? Or wait, Heather, give it to me again. I'll type it in the chat for the group.
Okay.
Hold
it's
on.
ifate, ifate.com.
Okay, I can't seem to get my chat. There it is. I'll do it one more time. Okay, it was ifate.com.
Yep.
Okay, so I just typed in the website.
That's right. And then look in the menu and you'll see I Ching in the menu.
Okay.
Okay. So to be able to fully understand what we're asking, so this is different from the I Ching here in Healy. You just said, hey, do this, and that's what the I Ching does. You know, it'll just go, and you don't have to ask a question. But when you do the kind of I Ching that I did before for Tammy, and I go to this website, a really big important part of it is asking a question, and you have to learn to ask your question in a way that you can understand the answer. So, which it isn't that hard, but it would be like I don't know what your intention here is with the group in terms of the I Ching. I don't know what you're wanting to see, right?
Well, let me do this,
And
Heather.
I would have to actually read through this before I could ask a question,
Yeah.
right? So I have to see what you've got here, and that would give me an idea of how to ask a question. But like I said, because I've never done this for a group, I don't quite know how that'll work out.
Well, should we switch, Heather? Maybe I could get a volunteer. We could go with an individual volunteer.
Yeah, if you want to have an
Group.
individual volunteer, that might be the easier thing, because really that's more relevant to everybody here. Everybody would be asking their own question, or they do their own I Ching. And so, yeah, let's try it for just a person.
Okay.
And then I want to just say that, you know, whoever volunteers to do this, just know that sometimes it can feel like it can be very direct, and so you have to like not be afraid of things coming up and talking about it. Like if you want to volunteer, but you don't want to be completely honest, then don't volunteer. That's what I'm saying. Okay. Because stuff will come up and it won't make sense to other people if I'm talking to someone and they're not being completely forthcoming because they're like, oh, that's kind of embarrassing, or I don't know if I want to look at this. So, so whoever volunteers, just make sure that you're okay with other people seeing something that's, very personal to you. If you want to ask a personal kind of question.
Okay.
Okay.
So do we have somebody who would like to be a volunteer? Given what Heather has just shared as sort of a preamble, would anybody like to do it?
I'll volunteer, Julie.
Okay, Julie. Julie, does your camera work for a second? Maybe where I can get a picture of you, and I'll add you into my Healy so we can.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for volunteering, Julie. So I'm going to take a picture of you right now, and you were talking beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. I'll just give everybody a little bit of teaching point here on just setting up somebody remote. Now, why isn't it showing here? Oh, there it is. Okay, so there I took a picture of Julie. Everybody, you might not have seen me do that, but that's what I did. Now I'm going to record Julie's vibration. So think about this. You've got a granddaughter, you've got a friend, they're out of state, they're in another country. You can use your Healy to support them. So I'm going to click over here. I've got my Healy turned on. I'm going to record a vibration, and I'm thinking of Julie. Okay, we got Julie in the book, and then I found that this works here because I've got Julie's permission over here to participate here. So, and when I've got this over here, I can just add her name. I don't need to add her last name. I don't need to add date of birth. I will add female, and we'll just go with that. And I've found out that this works. Now you can add in the extra information and maybe that dials it in a bit more. But again, I'm not going to synchronize it to the cloud. We're going to do an analysis now. And here we go. Okay, Heather.
Okay. So Julie, what I'm going to have, well, first of all, okay, how should we do this? Maybe we'll have the Healy run first. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll ask the question once I see. So we're just gonna, so notice you could do this I Ching analysis and you don't have to have a specific question for the Healy. Okay. So the Healy is just gonna come up with information. And then what we're gonna see is how that ties in when when I go into the I Ching.
Okay.
Okay.
And what I can do, because my intention when I ask the question is going to matter when I'm doing the I Ching. So what I'm going to do is go in and ask a question, and then I can send you a screenshot because I don't really know how to put it the way that you're doing it, John. So I'll just,
You know what I can do for you, Heather? I can go log into the website, and then you can just direct me what to do while I'm sharing my screen so the folks can see it.
okay, let's do that.
Okay. So you just kind of direct me and tell me when to go there, and then I'll go there.
Absolutely. Okay, so Julie, give me just a minute to look at what's coming up here. Just give me a second, okay? I'm on my phone, so it's a little tiny, so I'm having to take them out.
Yeah. And just tell me when you
Okay,
want me to scroll up, Heather, okay?
Yeah, no, this is fine. Okay, so Julie, as you're looking at this too, if you have an idea of what this is getting at, then you just tell me, right? Just say, oh, it's getting at this, I'm having this issue, or this thing about getting optimal balance around, rise, uplift, this kind of stuff. just tell me how that strikes you so that I can come up with a good question. Okay?
Okay, I have something weighing on my mind. I have a very young nephew that's being vaccinated today,
Mhm.
and so I think that might play into
Okay.
this.
Perfect. All right. So what I'm going to do is now, so what we have to do, John, is go to ifate.com and then click on I Ching.
Okay, give me just a second. I'll go there.
And everybody, I just want you to know, you don't need to do this to work with the Healy because the Healy will send out the frequency. But what was fun for us, this was more of a fun experiment, was seeing what showed up in the I Ching when we addressed a particular question. So Julie, what I'm going to ask on your behalf is going to be like, what do you need to know in order to for whatever's coming up for you? What would be the most helpful thing for you to know for yourself? Okay, because like you can't change what's happening, right? And so this is dealing with how you feel and things that you can work on within yourself. All right. So basically, that's the question I'm going to ask. And I want everyone to know that it won't necessarily make the kind of sense that you're used to. It may or it may not. Like I've been doing this for a while, so I can look at something and I can get a sense of what it's getting at, even if it's not precisely what it says. Sometimes it's very precise. Sometimes it's just the title is all I need. And it just shows me where it's at. So I just want everyone to know it takes a little bit of time and practice doing this, but it's it's been really remarkable because I want to tell you one more thing about the I Ching. Years ago, there was a video that came out called Thrive, and it was really interesting. It was talking about, well, it was all kinds of scientific stuff, but it also got into sacred geometry. And it said that the I Ching was sacred geometry and that it was literally living energy, right? Because it's as opposed to the tarot cards, which is more based on, images and words that are from other people and all this kind of stuff. The I Ching is completely sacred geometry. So anyhow, it's really interesting, long story, but I just wanted to throw that out to you. Okay, so here we have the I Ching. Now, John, you're going to click that next button up there.
Okay.
And then click go, because we're
Which-
going to use virtual coins. No, not that one. Sorry, the other one on the right side. That one. Go.
Okay.
Yeah. I didn't realize there were two goes. Oh, there's the other go. Okay. So now this is what we're going to hold in mind as we ask this question. What would be the most helpful information for Julie in regard to her grandson being vaccinated? What would help her for herself the most? Like what would help her to understand? So hold that thought, John. Then you're going to click on toss the coins, actually 7 times. So 6 times it'll toss the coins, and the 7th time it'll take you to the reading. And then I'll tell you what the reading means. And keep holding the thought as you do it. Okay. All right. So here we have the turning point. And you can just read a little bit about what that means. And this is really interesting. So this is what's going on right now. There's a turning point taking place. And if you scroll down here, you're going to see it says analyze changes. So that's really kind of a quick version. But if you go down to analyze, once you've read through that, so take your time, read through it.
And it's too small.
Yeah, okay.
Want me to read it? I can read it.
Yeah, why don't you do that?
Okay, so what it says here, the turning point, primary judgment. This welcome hexagram signifies a return to walking the proper path. The light has returned and cuts through the darkness. Walk with your head held high, knowing there is a fruit to bear in every direction. Like the winter solstice, this is the time of new beginning and opportunities. It is a time of true health and clarity.
Okay. Now, Julie, realize this isn't about your grandson. This is about you. You
Right.
get that? Okay. Really important to get that. So this is just really helping you see that you can do this and you don't have to get sucked into the drama of it, right? And you have
Yep.
that ability. It's really pointing out that you have the ability to do that. So then that green button says analyze changes. And just so you know, sometimes there will be no changes. It'll be a solid hexagram and that's all there is to it. But quite often there will be changes. And I didn't even notice that button for 6 months. So once I got that, I was like, oh my gosh, a whole new world. So, okay, so click analyze changes, John. All right, now let me just turn my thing sideways. Okay,
If you
all
need
right,
me
so
to
we have
read-
correcting mistakes. Now look at what it says. This is really great if you look at it. Do you want me to just read this, John?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, this line is a reminder to be easy on yourself. And say, and this says if you've traveled down the wrong path in the past. And how I would perceive that or interpret that is the idea that, like the idea of, so wrong is kind of a hard word and I don't use that, but let's put it this way. If you have worried and been anxious and kind of going mentally down a path that you know isn't in your best interest, like, do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
Yes.
Okay, so it goes right into be forgiving of yourself and step forward knowing you are back on track. Isn't that like wildly accurate considering what we're talking about?
I have been sitting in meditation, just asking to let it go and understand that this is where his parents are and this is
Right.
a decision they had to make for their family. And
Right?
I deeply respect them and love them.
Mhm.
And none of my family is on the journey that I'm on.
We get
So-
that. A lot of us get that.
I know. But regardless, I have been working very hard to stay on an even keel with my own psyche and
Right?
not get down the rabbit hole, so to
Perfect.
speak.
Well done by you. So look at the next one. Staying true to oneself. Don't stray from your path and your own inner knowing. Walk alone if you must. Let others follow their own destinies and stay on course for yours. I mean, it couldn't be more specific and accurate than that, right?
My whole
Seizing
back
opportunity. What?
My whole
Right?
back-
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay, seizing opportunities. This line is a reminder that misfortune could return if you fail to understand that this is indeed a powerful turning point. Be willing to start anew with a sturdy resolve. Accept responsibility. Blaming others will lead to further failure. And even though that's not where you're going to go, you could see that it would be possible, right? If you let yourself go that way. And then this is the future, progress. Like the sun rising effortlessly upward at the dawn of a new day, you will find yourself elevated to new heights. This fortunate hexagram suggests career advancement and recognition for a job well done. So this is an example of something where you have to interpret it. So it says career advancement, but it may not have anything to do with an actual career. It could be your own spiritual advancement, right? And this
Exactly.
recognition of you making these choices for yourself. Expect greater responsibility, prosperity, and kinship. This is an opportunity to benefit others while experiencing your own radiance and splendor. Your inner nature grows in brightness and purity. This is a time of awakening to your life's purpose. That's pretty freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to tell you, Julie, is I have a website that I think would really support you, and
Okay.
it's called Giving Game Foundation.
Wait, say it again, I'll type it
Giving
in again, Heather, hold on.
Oh, great. GivingGameFoundation.com.
Giving,
Game
okay, hold on.
Foundation.
Giving games or things?
Game. Giving Game Foundation. .com. You find out really quickly if you got it all spelled right. There you go. I think that's it. Let's see.
Okay,
Now, if
thank
you go there, let me just tell you, it's a 60-day free e-course. And if
Okay.
you don't want to sign up, you don't have to, just go to the menu. And in the menu, you'll see subscription issues, problems, whatever. Click on that, go to the bottom of the page, and there's a
Yep.
link to all 60 lessons. So you can just open it up and go where you want. But
Okay, thank-
yeah, but what I would suggest for you in particular is there on day one, you're going to hear a talk that I did on YouTube, and it's about 70 minutes, and you just listen to it because it's called How to Feel Better When Things Get Worse, and it will logically lay out exactly what you're working on and how to accomplish it, because it's a neural pathway in your brain, right? So this old pathway that you had before was taking you into fear and worry and anxiety, and you're like going, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do that. Well, when you do that enough, when you come to this place where you go, it's all okay, it's just what is, right? I'm not going to worry about it. You will
Yes.
get to the point where that will become completely assimilated in your own body. And you will actually get to where you're okay about whatever's happening, and you don't go down that rabbit hole of worry and fear, and you'll learn how to do it. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank
And
Thank
you're welcome. Okay, so now let's go back and look at the I Ching and see how it lines up here. So if we look at the first healing element here, notice it symbolizes creative power. And what's really interesting is that the I Ching was really talking about your ability to create yourself. Like this huge transformation that you're going through is going from creating what you don't want into creating what you do want. Wouldn't you say that would be accurate? Like you've really made that big, and that's a huge transition. It's like, this is like death and rebirth energy, right? Because it's a death to a part of you as a grandmother and a mother that feels responsible. And, like a lot of people believe that if you love someone, then you worry about them. And that is actually not the same thing. Love and fear are completely, they're not the same. You're either in love, in a space of love, or a space of fear, right?
Right.
And so people often think that anxiety is the same thing. It is not. So learning how to powerfully choose love and to let, and notice that it's actually an incredibly creative, loving state to allow others to be themselves and follow their own path. Okay. That's
lighter.
huge. What?
I have felt much lighter by doing this.
Yes, absolutely. And by the way, in that talk I told you about called How to Feel Better When Things Get Worse, you can also just go directly to that in YouTube. Track 4 is about relationships, and it will give you that piece to the puzzle that you've been working on, which is allowing others to be themselves. And
Right.
and your only job is to just say no if something isn't right for you, but otherwise you stay out of it, and it's very empowering. Okay, so the next one we come to symbolizes naturalness and an indication for a period which offers action and achievement opportunities. So again, this is about you making, this is incredible. I have to tell you, Julie, this is an incredible achievement for you, seriously, to do this with a grandchild, because it's like, it's easy to see this with, well, not necessarily, but it's easier to see this with adults making an adult decision. It's more challenging to see it for not only a child, but a relative of yours, and to go, I choose this. I choose to come from this place and not go into fear. So, and that's really acknowledging that, right?
Yes.
So there's that. And this is all gonna, what the Healy is gonna do is it's gonna completely assist you in exactly what you want to do, right? So you're gonna also get this beautiful Healy energy working for you as well. Okay, so the next one says symbolizes ascent and should indicate a time of ascension. And you can see that that's what you're doing. You're ascending out of this. And I'm sorry for anybody if this is a little bit too spiritual sounding, but I think, Julie, you let me know if you know what I mean. But this ascension energy is what people have been talking about, ascending into 4D, 5D. Is that familiar to you? Do you know what I'm
Yeah,
talking about?
very.
Okay, so it's totally supporting that happening, which is why you're choosing what you're choosing. Because if you go into fear, anxiety, then you stay stuck with that energy, as opposed to going, I'm letting go. This is none of my business because I can't do anything about it. So that's a good thing for everybody to keep in mind. If there's something that is a problem and you can't do anything about it in this moment, tell yourself, this is none of my business. That will pull your negative focus off the problem. And actually, if there's anything that's going to assist the problem in not being such a big problem, it will be that pulling your thought off of it. And one more thing I want to tell you, Julie, and anybody else, there is on day 5 of the giving game, and you can also find this in YouTube. There is a narration I did, and let me think, what was it called? It was written by Emmett Fox. Oh, it's called The Golden Key. So it's called The Golden Key, and basically, if you read the lesson, it's really short, and then go listen to The Golden Key. He talks about how to literally take your thought off the problem. And then it talks about how to do that, how to take your thought off the problem. That is the thing that you are recognizing that is really fantastic, is to go, I refuse to be sucked into the problem. I'm not going to go there with my energy. I'm not going to go down that place, right? So
Right.
you have here on the I Ching, symbolizes progress and growth, and indicates a time of personal growth is coming, and you're actually in it, but it's going to continue. And then the last one symbolizes the fountain, symbolically representing the fountain of life. And that's beautiful, really beautiful. So everything in this Healy I Ching is supporting what you saw online, right? And all the healing energy that's coming to you is directly connected to what we just talked about. But now everybody, I think you can all see why this is a one-on-one kind of a thing. It's not like, okay, as a group, we've got this going on. It's a very one-on-one type of energy to work with. And that's all you would all be doing in any case when you're working with other people. And this kind of depends. Also, if you wanted to do this and do the other I Ching, it's a great way to just practice for yourself. Like, you don't have to do this for other people, but the more you practice on yourself, the more easily you'll be able to recognize what's going on at a glance. Like, you'll see it really easily. And then you don't even have to read through the I Ching. You can see that the Healy already picked it up and got it right on the money, right?
It did.
Yeah. Does anyone have, Julie, do you have any questions?
No, I'm just, I'm really kind of floored at how it is. And I want to play with it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm really grateful to have met you, Heather. And I'm already pulled you up on YouTube. So I'm going to listen to it.
Oh, great. Yeah. Yeah. And Julie, if you know how to get to my channel and you click on the picture of me and then just get to the channel, you'll see that everything is put in sections. So it's
Yep.
easy to go and check stuff out that way as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. I
Well, my
appreciate this.
pleasure. Absolutely.
And
Thank you.
nothing too great up.
Thank you for demoing for us, Julie, and being willing and vulnerable to take that spot. I certainly learned a ton there. That was just beautiful. So thank you very
Yeah,
much
absolutely.
for sharing yourself in that way with our community. That was really, really nice. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks,
you're welcome.
Julie.
So any other questions for Heather on what we just did there?
I
John?
feel like I work with it to kind of understand where to go with the Healy itself, since it's still really, really relatively new to me.
Mhm. So I don't know if you could feel that, but I'll go over it one more time because here's what we did. I'll go through in a screen share so everybody can get, know this. So obviously, Julie, where are you located?
I'm in New Hampshire.
Okay, so Julie's in New Hampshire. I'm over here in St. Paul, Minnesota, right? And here we all are on a Zoom call. And I decided Julie was willing to participate and say, okay, would you broadcast some frequencies to me? Okay, will you add me to your Healy so I can broadcast that to you? So I'm going to share my screen and show it again because this is something I think a lot of us forget to do, that we can actually take care of folks and friends and our loved ones from wherever they are. So in here, what we did is I came over here and I selected over here. I selected a person up here on the top. Can you guys see that?
Yeah.
I see on my screen. Okay. So I selected a new client over here. I'm not going to do it right now since we already did that. I went down there. I added Julie. In fact, all I did was I took a picture of Julie off my Zoom call. There it is. You can actually see that that's kind of a Zoom picture. And then I added her to the database. I captured her frequency. So I'm going to go back there again so people know how to do this. And I can help people over here. When you grab somebody, I can go just like this. This is all I did. I said, hey, Julie, can I capture your frequency? Yeah, she did. And here it is. I held on to it thinking of her in this moment, and I captured her frequency. Boom, done. And then we had her, typed her in, and now I had a client in there. So I'm going to pop out of there because I don't need that. But then once we had that, we ran an analysis on Julie, and we got this result. Actually, let me show you. Let's go do it again. We'll just give Julie some more love here since she shared with us. So we did I Ching. Do you have a preference for anything else, Julie? You'd like me to, on the database, you'd like me to select for you here?
Oh, I, I'm kind of at a loss.
Box
You know,
somewhere?
Julie,
I
I'll
would
tell you
like,
some, I'll tell you something that works really well. Can I throw in something if you don't know what
Please.
you want?
Sure.
Yeah.
Try creative homeopathy. It takes a long time to run, but it is powerful. And it will actually send you homeopathic remedies that will assist you through whatever you're going through.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. And it'll
Mhm.
take a minute, everybody. It's the longest one in the whole thing. You know, there are times when the Healy goes through so fast, you're like, how could you have even figured this out? You know, how did you go so fast? But with creative homeopathy, it's like, okay, come on, let's go. You know, but it's amazing what it comes up with. So it's worth the wait, in my opinion.
Very good.
Yeah, so it's going through a database of 348 different little elements. So as it's scanning Julie right here, from here to there, don't even have to be in the same room with her to add her as a client to go through there because I'm here in St. Paul and I'm in Minnesota and she's in New Hampshire. Yet she'll get the vibrations. Julie, I meant to ask you, are you, 10 to 15% of the people when I go through and run a blue dot scan or broadcast, when I'm actually broadcasting the frequencies,
Mhm.
are able to kind of sense them. Do you happen to fit into that group?
I am tonight. I have days that I don't feel. I ran a program earlier tonight, Harmonize, I believe it was, for nerves, because I came home and I felt a little nervous.
Yep.
So I ran that and I didn't really feel much of it, but as we were doing the I Chin, I definitely was feeling it.
Okay. Yeah. And you know what? Just to reiterate, if you don't feel it, it still doesn't matter. You still get the benefit. I mean, you get the benefit of what's happening. But it's interesting. So here it is. I mean, isn't that interesting? Julie's in New Hampshire. John's in Minnesota. John takes a picture of Julie on Zoom. John holds the Healy in his hand with Julie's permission and has an intention to capture her quantum phone number in the universe. John captures that, puts that into the Healy, just puts down Julie's first name, just checks off female, and then runs the scan. Runs the scan, comes up with it. Not only is the scan itself accurate, it correlates with something on a completely different website called iFate doing I Ching, and they kind of both correlate, and it resonates for Julie. I just keep sharing this all again because it's like these subtle energies and these frequencies we're working with are really quite amazing. And as a culture, it's kind of been suppressed from us that this is like wacky or woo woo. And yet here it is, it's actually working. So that's why, that's one of the reasons I wanted to create this call so that we could get together on a group and just kind of have these group experiences, because it's very powerful that you volunteered tonight, Julie, so that we could all learn. And Heather, very grateful that you decided to join us tonight and share your great wisdom, that we could all participate and learn from this. Because this is just astounding. We didn't get this knowledge. It was actually suppressed and hidden from us by the interests that like to make a lot of money off a jab. And so here we are. Now we've got your frequencies here, and I will go into here and I will vibrate those out to you, Julie.
Hey, John,
Yep.
before you do that, can I take a look at what it said? Because it went off the screen. I'd like to just see
Sure.
what the what it was doing.
Sure.
real
Go
quick.
ahead. Okay.
I can't see it. I can see you, but I can't see it.
Oh,
I
let me
don't know
go
if
through.
that's-
So you can see me, but you can't see this. I thought it was.
Yeah, but I
screen
might have gone to the wrong place or something. I don't know. Let me see if I can. I'm not very.
Can,
This is
can
so-
other people see what I'm screen sharing just to make sure I didn't do something?
Now I can see the screen share.
Okay.
Okay, maybe I'm in the wrong. Oh, there we go. I got it. Okay, give me just 1 second here. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Can't see it. It's so
Oh, I
small.
have to.
You want me to
oh, I
read
see.
it? You
That-
want me to read
Yeah,
it
I'm
for you,
turning.
Heather?
I have to just. I just have to turn it sideways. Now I can see it. Give me
Okay.
just 1 second. Okay. Okay. Harmonization. Okay, so this is really interesting. Look at what's coming up here. The very first one says lack of harmonization of the stress pattern, lack of confrontation, burying one's head in the sand. And that might be one of your fears. Like there was no ability to confront, and there might be this fear of, well, am I just burying my head in the sand? And notice this would be kind of a subconscious thing. It wouldn't necessarily be the way that you're consciously thinking, right?
Yep.
Then we have lack of engagement, lack of trust, in tune with oneself. And just this is what I want to point out to everybody. Everything here is going along exactly with what we did in the I Ching. Harmonization of the stress pattern, not thinking outside the box, like thinking like, in other words, that fear would be, well, I need to think outside the box instead of just going, this is okay. It's just what's happening and I can't, like that kind of thing, or cannot bear being yourself. Like these are the subconscious fears. Okay. And what this is doing is it's going to send you the homeopathic remedies is a frequency to directly address these subconscious, deep-seated fears, right? So on the one hand, there's, okay, I'm on it, I'm doing it, I get this, but there's another part that's like, what if I get it wrong? What if I don't feel this way tomorrow? I mean, I feel that way today, but I don't know what's going to happen if something bad happens, right? That kind
Yeah.
of fear. And this is directly assisting you with moving through that fear and creating calm within you, right? Where you can calmly look at it. And one way to look at this is if you were a doctor and you got all upset about every patient, the way that you might potentially get upset about your grandchild, you would do no good for your patients. You'd be in the wrong business, right?
Exactly.
And so this is perfect energy and so this is what I want to point out to everybody. Notice how all of this, how the Healy is directly addressing this stuff And like John said, he's in Minnesota and you're in New Hampshire and it's working. So, okay, that's all I wanted to add into that, John.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Heather. I'm glad you went through that to tie that together.
Yeah.
Julie, did you have something?
No, I'm finding it all very fascinating that it's so right on.
Yeah. And I kind of went over that, how to rebroadcast Minnesota, New Hampshire, because I see Robin had jumped in on the phone call and she's really curious about how to support her dad, who's in a different state and is
Yeah.
not a Healy user yet, but is contemplating it and wanted to know if she could send vibrations from here to there to care for her dad. So just kind of wanted to make sure you could get that demo, Robin, so you could kind of see how that works. Oh, you're muted right now if you wanted to say anything. There's a little microphone down at the bottom left on your Zoom screen that you can mute and unmute. Bottom left.
There it is.
There it is.
I just want, yes, thank you. I just wanted to say thank you, and to Heather and Julie too. It's very helpful.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm glad to be part of this group.
And, you know, just to reiterate too, Robin, since you're new here, Marcia, a couple of weeks ago, was sharing with a friend of hers who had come down with COVID, was in the hospital, 3 days in the hospital, released. They're really good friends, couldn't go to see her, but she was having both physical and emotional issues at home. And so Marcia decided to help her with both Healy, and she also uses essential oils. So there was, you know, two things working there. But she broadcast, and what was it, Marcia? Like you ran a set and you ran it 2, 3, 4 times a day for over a week. I don't remember the whole story exactly, but something like that. Within less than a week, her friend had a turnaround. Is it something like that, Marcia?
Right, exactly. She actually had I wish she was on. Are you guys hearing me? Because it says my internet is
We hear you.
unstable.
Yeah, we hear you, Marcia.
All right. Yeah. So actually within a few days, it was pretty amazing. Her return, she's really gotten started with Healy, and she's not on here tonight, but yeah, we get going, and a lot of it was emotional. And I just did what Healy came up with. Plus, because of the analysis, I also did Gold Cycle and I did Deep Cycle. I also did her auras, once, and ran that through. And I was running frequencies to her like 3 to 4 times a day, and she would respond. But within 24 hours, things were changing for her. And within a week, I mean, she still has not listened to the recording of, she called me and sent me I had a voicemail because I couldn't answer my phone at the moment. And she hasn't re-listened to that yet, but she was in a very bad situation with, her emotions. And we just started. I wasn't sure what I was doing, but I trusted Healy. And I did what came up, plus those few things because of the COVID. And she was actually back to full-time work within a week. And she was in the hospital and she was suicidal. So I'm really grateful to Healy for what it did for her. And she's really helping other people, with Healy now. It's just been a true gift to see that happen. And it's amazing. So there's so much we keep learning, but that's what I did. And that's actually been probably a couple months ago, actually, when this started or happened, but it was pretty big for her. And I'm excited I could help her because we also did incorporate the oils. And I said, okay, are you using this and this and this, just based on what she was dealing with. And she got going with both, and things turned around really rapidly for her. So it's pretty cool. I hope she will come on some night and we'll have her give her testimony. because it's pretty awesome.
Thanks for recapturing that, Marcia. Yep.
Yeah.
So we're kind of up at the top of the hour, but we have, if anybody had some questions, I mean, very grateful for what Heather shared tonight. Any more questions for like what Heather shared, or do you have any technical questions, or do you have any testimonies? Anybody have anything they'd like to share?
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Okay.
It's me, Julie. I'm been trying to put the Healy apps on my iPad, and I have a new iPad, and I keep getting this master key needs to please use your master key for this device. And I go to my settings, I think everything's where it's supposed to be, and it's still not connecting. And it's the blue dot that I'm
Sure.
having the trouble with.
Yeah. So there's an actual in the there's a simple thing you can do, Julie. You can Google, if you go on Google and
Yep.
you Google Healy Master Key.
Okay,
There's a guy named Peter that has a video out there that he created that's
Okay.
really pretty good. It's about 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Shows you what you need to do. But I'll just give you
There-
a basic concept of the master key is this. So I've got my iPhone, I've
Yep.
got the Healy blue dot on that, and I've got my iPad, right?
okay,
Wouldn't it be nice if when I ran a scan on somebody and I was working with them, that it would show up on both of my devices?
right,
I didn't have to add it in there twice. So what a master key is it takes the information, backs it up to the cloud. Now the
Yep.
cloud, when you come in on the new device that you want to do, like your iPad,
Yeah.
it needs to have that exact same master key that was created at the time you put it on your iPhone.
okay,
So there's a process to go through to save this encrypted key. And it's a
Okay.
little process. So it's really good when you watch the video. It'll walk you through what to do and how to do it.
Okay.
And then you just go through and then you save that file of the master key from your phone. So let's say you lost your master key, you don't have it. If you go back into your Healy Blue Dot app on the phone where it's working, you can go in there and go make a backup of my master key. And then you can send that to the other device or put it in your Dropbox or put it in some file. Then when they ask for the master key on your iPad, you go access that Dropbox account or Google Drive or whatever and pull that master key down. Now you've got the same key unlocking the same door in the cloud, so your information is synced.
okay. All right, I will try that for sure. Thank you.
Yep, you bet. Good question. Anybody else?
Yes, I want to just throw in something for you, Julie. If you go to givinggamefoundation.com/Healy
Yes,
and you scroll down there, you're going to see something that will help you so much. You'll see a scroll, and it'll say something about the pink dot app, and then you'll see one about the blue dot app. All right,
Okay.
can you go there on your phone and follow me as I'm
Well,
talking about it? It says
I-
deep dive into the blue app. It's way down the page. Can you get there?
before we do that, do I go back to my YouTube where I found you?
No. Go to givinggamefoundation.com. That
But
was something that is that initial
Yep.
place I took you. Okay, go to that and then put a / into that, and then the word Healy, and then click on that, and it'll take you to this web page I created for Healy. And everybody, I'm telling you, this will save you so much time and energy for yourself and for new clients, because if you listen to this, there's a talk I have in there with about Tesla and about the Healy, and you'll see a picture of Tesla, and I'm talking to my friend Patrick, but you'll see it took me 9 months to get started, and that's because I couldn't do the freaking master key. And I kept trying to get in touch with Patrick. I didn't know what to do. So when I finally figured this all out, I created a website so that everybody could go and figure it out. And then I brought in a whole bunch of people. And when people would contact me and go, well, what about this? I'm going, did you go to the site? Did you go through the pink dot and the blue
Okay.
dot? And they go, and they're like, yeah, okay, I'll go do it. and nobody calls me back. Like, it's all here. Okay, so did you find that page?
So here I am, Heather. I'm online there.
Okay.
So I go to the search.
I'm on the page myself. I can't be in both places, but what I
But
want
if you
to
look
know
at
is
where I'm at, Heather, if you look at where I'm at, I'm sharing, I'm doing a screen share for the group.
okay,
So I can show
notice
them your
it.
site.
Perfect. So where it says deep dive into the blue app.
But no, I'm on the home page right now.
Okay, so on the home page, put in /Healy.
Okay, so
So be on the home page after it says, you know, give it .com, put /, then put in the word Healy and click go. And it'll take you right to this page.
I'm not finding deep dive, but I'm finding quite a bit.
Well, just, you have to scroll almost to the bottom. It's way
okay.
down. And
Yep.
it'll have a first you'll
Got
see
it.
a pink. Oh, yay. Okay. Are you there, John? Did you find it?
Yeah, I got it. I'm putting in the address into the chat for everybody so they can just copy and paste.
Okay.
I'll put it
perfect.
in next week's email out for everybody too. Because yeah,
Okay.
Heather did some nice work here, so it's nice that we can do that because it's like it's a good reference point. So let me go back here. So here's
Yeah.
where she has her site. Welcome to Healy, where she put a lot of work in there. And
Yeah.
you said,
Now scroll way down, John. Go down to deep dive into the blue app. You'll see a blue picture.
yep,
And
so there it
it'll
is.
be way down. Tell me when you get there.
I'm there. So I'm
Okay.
looking for master key in there right now.
Okay, so look at 2847. And it says a bit about the master key. And that's how I figured out how to do my master key. They walk you right through it.
So this is another video that folks created, and it has
Yeah,
a lot
so
of
all
technical
the-
questions.
Yeah,
It's
right?
very
And
good.
so if you click on that link, the one that says 2847, it takes you directly into YouTube to that specific part of the video.
So we'll go over this again. Okay, that's good.
Yeah,
And so here it is. And then if you were to click on this,
is important here.
and so they'll go
first
through
time
this part.
setup is not.
that's right.
I should say.
And I'm telling you, for everybody who either you're new or you have new people, this will save you so much time because you
Thank
just
you.
send them to the site and say, go look here first. If you can't, if it's not there, then contact me. And like I said, nobody ever gets back in touch with me because it's all there. So
Perfect.
yeah.
Well, this has been a phenomenal evening.
See what you get for volunteering?
I'm feeling pretty charged. I don't think I'll be going to sleep anytime soon.
And John, I just want to say you are an amazing teacher. That is so you. You do such a great job and you go back over it, you make sure people understand. And I just wanted to throw in a very happy birthday to you on this very special 11/11 day. So,
Thank you, Heather.
happy birthday, John.
Yep. Thank
Happy
you.
birthday, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it's great to spend it here with you guys. Well, I think we're basically done. And Heather, thank you so much. You did such great sharing. You really added a lot of value for our call. So
Oh,
just
you're
anybody wave a little
welcome.
hands there. Wave to Heather. Thank you so much
Oh,
for joining
thank
us. Very nice. That was a good gift. A very good birthday gift. Thank you.
you. My pleasure.
All right. Well, I'll wrap this up and we'll get it up online because this is a very good one. And again, thank you, Julie, for volunteering. That was very good. Marcia, thanks for sharing with your friend again. And nice to meet you again, Robin. I'm glad you're here. And if you've got questions, you can email me. We can help figure out, with you and stuff if you want to, go through this stuff. So, all right, everybody.
Hey, thank you.
Thank
Yep.
you.
Yep,
Good
thank
night.
you.
See you all.
Bye.
Bye. See you, Diane. Bye.